And we're live.
Okay, everyone. We're back for another week of Mojo reading. Here is Nyy'xai Coach.
Okay. Here's Xai'nyy Xai'nyy.
Xai'nyy Nyy'xai Mitchell.
Nyy'zai Infinity.
Nyy'xai Gwen.
Nyy'xai Gabe.
Nyy'xai Starglow.
Okay, so we're going to start off with a nugget like we normally do, something that helps with Mojo reading before we get into the actual weekly quiz. Today we're going to be doing the Game of Thrones show. As Neo Megas noted, we really geek out in the show, and that's true, but I would recommend that everyone geek out in the show. And that's not just because we're into it, that's because it occupies a very unique place. And that is, the books that they're based on are genius. And the show is genius. And within that genius is the fact that it has one of the most elaborate cast of characters written about, and people love it. The way it's written makes you remember, this is key, a huge cast of characters. And it's really well written that way, and it's done the same way on screen. This means we actually canvassed it. There's 3 worlds that have like around 100 characters in them that have actors and actresses we have. This is Marvel Universe, but that's all the movies together. All Marvel Universe movies together, there's about 100 characters. The entire Star Trek franchise, all series, has about 100 characters of known actors. Game of Thrones, in one series, has 100. It is the only one. So it is unique of its kind and a, therefore, singular educational opportunity. So there's a game we play where when shows come on, we'd like to actually call out the name or the mojo, innate nature of the person the first time they show up on screen. And then we let the rest of the show play. Anytime a new character comes on for the first time on that episode, we call it, including the main cast. As they come on screen for the first time, we call it. Okay, Game of Thrones is by far the deepest show to play that on because of how many characters are on there. Most shows you don't tend to call more than maybe 5 to 10 people. But Game of Thrones, you typically will call like 20, 30, sometimes 40. It's ridiculous, and it's fun. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So, if you watch Game of Thrones for no other reason just for that game, you'll be delighted because there's just so many characters that come on constant rotation. Okay, so we've broken them down into major characters, supporting characters, and minor characters. Today, we're focused on major characters. Jarlene's going to be giving a tour. She's going to say who they are, their mojo, the name of the actor and actress, and their role, and maybe just a quick line, Jarlene, about who they are in the story, just real brief, like a log line. And then we're going to play the game, where she's going to scroll everyone through and see if you guys can remember it. Sound good?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Take it away, Jarlene.
Cool. Okay, so tour. We have major characters. We have Emilia Clarke as Daenerys Targaryen. She is a Nyy'xai, and she is the mother of dragons, and a really interesting character.
Okay, cool. Jarlene, on that, go ahead and say the mojo before the person's name.
Got it. Okay, here we have Xai'nyy Kit Harington as Jon Snow. Jon Snow, he's the illegitimate son of Ned Stark, and now he had to take the Night's Watch, and he's up at the northern border of the kingdoms where there's all sorts of marvelous stuff.
Basically, he's up on an ice wall protecting the world from ice zombies.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have Xai'nyy Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister. He is son of Tywin Lannister, the head of the Lannister family. Because he is a dwarf, he is kind of ostracized by his family, but you know, he's actually the most clever and noble of all of them. So you know, it's interesting to follow his exploits.
And
There's what's
And those three she just said, and this last one she's doing now, are, I would say, the four most major characters. And also, if you ask people who love Game of Thrones their favorite characters, those four are generally the ones they'll mention right away.
The next one then is Nyy'xai Maisie Williams as Arya Stark. Arya Stark is a daughter of Ned Stark, and she is, she's cool. She's really cool because she's feisty and she's, doesn't let herself be trapped by the status quo. She's a tomboy. She is fierce and really clever, and she's trying to make her own way in the world. So.
And now that her family has been, treacherously slain mainly, she decides she's going to become, a nice young assassin to make things right.
Spoiler alert, by the way, spoiler alert. Okay, so there's Nyy'zai Sophie Turner as Sansa Stark, another daughter of the Ned Stark and Catelyn Stark. She's the sister to Arya above there, and her path is a little bit different because she's gone more the traditional path. She wants to get married and find love and be a princess, and because of the situation of the family, things are not exactly easy for her, and she's trying to deal with that and kind of like coming from a sheltered background.
Yeah, she's kind of like she's a sheltered princess growing up.
Yeah. Okay, Nyy'zai Nikolai Coster-Waldau as Jaime Lannister. He is son of Tywin Lannister, the brother to Tyrion Lannister, and he's a complex character. He used to be so he was a knight. He was actually.
Xai'nyy, we'll have to make the explanations a little shorter for time. So I'll go ahead and say he's basically a bad boy who's starting to become kind of sort of good.
Okay. Then we have Xai'nyy Lena Headey as Cersei Lannister, daughter of Tywin Lannister, sister to Jaime and Tyrion, and she, what would you say about her, Coach? That basically she wants her way, she wants to be queen.
Yeah, she loves her family, and she'll do anything for it, and most people think that she's the best at being bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
There's Nyy'zai Charles Dance as Tywin Lannister. He is the patriarch for the Lannister family. He loves his family. He also loves power, and so he can be, ruthless in his ways. Complex character. Nyy'zai Rory McCann, Sandor the Hound Clegane. He serves Tywin Lannister. He was protecting Joffrey Lannister, the prince. He's burned in the face because of it's a complicated history with his brother, who's been, he's kind of a Clegane. The Hound is an unstable character, but I guess his brother is even more so. So it's an interesting family story there. There's Xai'nyy Alfie Allen as Theon Greyjoy. He went to. He's a warden, right? A warden of the Stark family. He lived with them.
Yeah,
but
I can't give too much history because of the time it takes. So we'll probably give just more like a character line back up on him. He's kind of like a playboy who then eventually gets in trouble and has to grow fast.
Okay. Here, Nyy'zai Jack Leeson as Joffrey Baratheon. He's the son of Cersei Lannister and Robert Baratheon, and he's kind of spoiled and hungry, he's drunk on power, and because he's a kid, and so.
So he's cruel and likes to play games like shooting things with a crossbow. Yeah.
There's Xai'nyy John Bradley as Samuel Tarly. He's part of the Night's Watch, and he's Jon Snow befriends him, and so and keeps him away from the Bolton because he's.
Most of the people in the Night's Watch are unsavory criminals who can't do anything but fight. He's unusual that he's actually very bookish and doesn't like to fight.
There's Xai'nyy Michelle Farley as Catelyn Stark. She's the matriarch of the Stark family, married to Ned Stark, and she's a strong woman, stoic. What else would you say about her?
I think you got it.
Yeah. Let's see. There's Nyy'xai Isaac Hempstead Wright as Bran Stark. He's a son of Caitlin and Ned Stark, and he's sort of he has an accident where he loses the ability to walk, but he has he can see things, and he's kind of following his one way.
He's strong on the third eye stuff.
Yeah, he's stronger than third eye stuff. There's Nyy'xai Aiden Gillen as Peter Littlefinger Baelish. He's in the court of the Lannister family, and he he's playing the royal games, right?
The Machiavellian mastermind.
Yeah. There's Xai'nyy Conleth-Hill as Lord Varys, another player in the Lannister court. He sort of has ears everywhere. He's a purveyor of information. There's Xai'nyy Richard Madden as Robb Stark. He's one of the sons of Caitlin and Ned Stark. He is going to become a king. And what would you say about him? He tries to be noble. He's a noble. Yeah. Here you have Nyy'zai Sean Bean as Eddard Ned Stark. A stoic character. You know, he loves his family, tries to protect it, has a very strict code, and tries to follow it. There's Xai'nyy Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo. Khal Drogo is the head of the horse riders on the other side of the ocean, so they're more, I guess, like wild. And
think Mongols.
Yeah, kind of like Mongols, and have their own way of doing things that Daenerys Targaryen encounters in her journeys. Here you have Xai'nyy Martin Addy as Robert Baratheon. He was king until he got killed. But he's a man of big appetites, and those can get him in trouble at times. Here you have Nyy'xai Gwyneth Christie as Tarth. She is unusual because she's a female knight, which she's an actual knight, right, Coach?
Yes, she was. She was knighted.
Yeah, so she's a knight, and then she, by circumstances, she ends up protecting the Stark family, Caitlin Stark, and then Jaime Lannister. So, very interesting character, strong woman. Nyy'xai Stephen Delane as Stannis Baratheon. He's vying for the throne. He's kind of a grim. He has a grim sensibility. I guess because of his upbringing in his house.
Honorable and inflexible.
Yeah. Here you have Nyy'xai Pedro Pascal as Oberyn Martell. He's a man of a lot of passions, very dominant character.
Sensuous and deadly, wants vengeance.
Yeah, he's part of the snake, right? Like the snake people, sort of, right? Yeah. Then you have the Xai'nyy Ian Glenn as Jorah Mormont. He, I guess, would you say he was a disgraced knight? Did he have to leave? Or
He's a disgraced knight that had to go over to the east to find a job there. We'll leave it there because I don't give any spoilers away.
Cool. And that's those are the major characters. Okay.
All right, go ahead, start from the top.
Okay, so I'll get us started. So here we have Nyy'xai Emilia Clarke as Daenerys Targaryen.
Xai'nyy Kit Harington as Jon Snow.
Could you guys hear Adimus?
Yes, we can hear you.
Cool, good.
Xai'nyy Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister.
Nyy'xai Maisie Williams as Arya Stark.
Len?
Can't quite see it. I think it's Nyy'xai Bran, right?
Right now we have Sophie Turner.
Sophie Turner, so she's a Nyy'zai.
Cool. Is it just you can't see the screen share?
It's sometimes it goes in and out. It shows different icons.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh.
Okay. Gabe.
That would be Nyy'zai Nikolai Coster Waldo as Jaime Lannister.
Starglow.
Xai'nyy Lena Headley as Kirsty Lannister.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. Nyy'zai Charles Dance is Tywin Lannister.
Nyy'zai Rory McCann as Sandra the Hound Clegane.
Xai'nyy Alfie Allen as Theon Greyjoy.
Nyy'zai Jack Gleason as Joffrey Baratheon.
What do you say? It's Z.
Nyy'zai. Okay, I actually misheard it.
Sorry,
first.
could you repeat that again? Yeah, I think.
Should I say it again?
Did they?
I can't hear.
They're
I can't hear
frozen.
you, Coach.
I think they're both frozen.
No, Coach is
The
muted.
coach is on mute.
Coach, you're on mute.
Okay,
Okay,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, I think now we're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Infinity. Sorry, we didn't quite catch what.
So the first time when you mentioned it, I thought I heard Nyy'zai and
It's Z.
Oh, it's actually not
Z.
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 Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Cool.
Nyy'zai Jack Gleason is Joffrey Baratheon.
Perfect.
I think most people say Baratheon.
Baratheon.
What?
Xai'nyy John Bradley as Samwell Tarly.
Okay. Xai'nyy Michelle Fairley is Catelyn Stark.
Isaac Hempstead Bright.
Nyy'zai Aiden Gillen as Peter Littlefinger Baelish.
Xai'nyy Conniff Hill as Lord Varys.
Xai'nyy Richard Madden as Robb Stark.
Nyy'zai Sean Bean as Eddard Ned Stark.
Xai'nyy Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo.
Xai'nyy Mark Addy is Robert Baratheon.
Nyy'zai Gwendolyn Christie is Renee Park.
There's Nyy'zai Stephen Delane as Stannis Baratheon.
Nyy'zai Pedro Pascal as Oberyn Martell.
Xai'nyy Ian Glenn as Jorah Mormont.
Okay, good. That was that.
Okay, so we're gonna do 2 more passes. Same order as before, except each person takes 2 samples.
Okay. Start us off. Okay, we have Nyy'zai Emilia Clarke as Daenerys Targaryen, and Xai'nyy Kit Harington as Jon Snow.
Xai'nyy Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister. And Nyy'zai Maisie Williams as Arya Stark.
Nyy'zai Sophie Turner as Sansa Stark. Nyy'zai, how do you pronounce this?
It's Nikolai.
Nikolai
Yeah.
Coster Waldo as Jaime Lannister.
Waldo, I think.
Xai'nyy Lena Headley as how do you pronounce her first name?
Lena.
Lena
Lannister.
Oh, Cersei. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I thought you were talking about her.
Edie. Okay. And the second one.
Cersei Lannister? Oh, okay.
Nyy'zai Charles Dance as Tywin Lannister.
Nyy'zai Rory McCann as Sander the Hound Clegane. And Xai'nyy Alfie Allen as Theon Greyjoy.
We have Nyy'zai Jack Gleason as Joffrey Baratheon, and Xai'nyy John Bradley is Samuel Tarly.
Michelle Fairley as Caitlin Stark. And Nyy'zai Isaac Hempstead Rand Stark.
One second. Did you hear Nyy'zai?
I said Nyy'zai.
Starglow, did you say Nyy'zai or Nyy'zai?
Bad time for a blender.
You got it right.
Okay, good. Nyy'xai Aiden Gillen as Peter Littlefinger Baelish, and Xai'nyy Conlon Hill as Lord Ferris.
Xai'nyy Richard Madden as Robb Stark, and Nyy'zai Sean Bean as Eddard Ned Stark.
Xai'nyy Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo. Xai'nyy Mark Addy as Robert Baratheon.
Nyy'zai Gwendolyn Christie as Brienne of Tarth. And Nyy'zai Stephen Delane as Stannis Baratheon.
Nyy'zai Pedro Pascal as Oberyn Martell. And Xai'nyy Ian Glenn as Jorah Mormont.
Okay.
Hey.
One more time. And last pass, each person takes 3.
That works out perfectly, I think.
Okay, let's get started. There's Nyy'xai Emilia Clarke as Daenerys Targaryen. Xai'nyy Kit Harington as Jon Snow. Also, Xai'nyy Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister.
Nyy'zai Maisie Williams as Arya Stark. Nyy'zai Sophie Turner as Sansa Stark. And Nyy'zai Nikolai Coster-Waldau as Jaime Lannister.
Xai'nyy Lita Headey as Cersei Lannister. Nyy'zai Charles Dance as Tywin Lannister. Nyy'zai Rory McCann as Sandor the Hound Clegane.
Xai'nyy Alfie Allen as Theon Greyjoy. Nyy'zai Jack Gleason as Joffrey Baratheon. And Xai'nyy John Bradley as Samuel Tarly.
Xai'nyy Michelle Farley as Caitlin Stark. Nyy'zai Isaac Hempstead Wright as Bran Stark. And Nyy'zai Aiden Gillen as Peter Littlefinger Baelish.
We have Xai'nyy Conlon Hill as Lord Varys. Xai'nyy Richard Madden as Robb Stark. And Nyy'zai Sean Bean as Eddard Ned Stark.
Xai'nyy Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo. Xai'nyy Mark Addy as Robert Baratheon. Nyy'zai Gwendolyn Christie as Renee of Tarth.
Nyy'zai Stephen Delane as Stannis Baratheon. Nyy'zai Pedro Pascal as Oberyn Martell. Xai'nyy Ian Glenn as Jorah Mormont. Okay, that was that.
Hey.
Excellent. I think that you'll find that just good class training in general. But if you watch the show, you'll take even more in. And so now you have a good idea of the main characters. We'll keep listening in the next coming weeks. Okay, let's get into this weekly quiz. I believe we were doing Gotham.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Interesting to
Interesting
see how we do on
characters.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Get it started?
There's only like 5 episodes.
I'd never seen it.
Yeah, so far,
I
huh?
didn't see them yet either.
Have you been able to catch up on it now that you started doing the quiz? Or you said you haven't seen it at all yet?
Not yet. I haven't gotten to any episodes yet.
I I really intend to watch it.
Yeah, but we'll be doing a lot of different shows. So those are the ones to choose from. But that's good. We'll keep doing some other shows as well. One I was doing is the Game of Thrones, only because of the unique opportunity it is to call Mojos on screen.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's go to it. Who's first?
We started off with Sara Paxton. Okay, for her, I said Nyy'zai.
I said Nyy'zai.
I said Nyy'xai.
I said Nyy'xai.
I said Nyy'zai, but I was thinking Xai'nyy for a long time.
Are we on the quiz now?
Yes.
Yeah, I got bumped up my connection. Are we on the first sample?
Yes, Sara Paxton.
Yeah, I put a Nyy'zai.
Okay. How about you?
I said Zai. I'm sorry.
Okay, no one got it right.
Wow.
Just know, we had 12 people take the quiz this week, and no one got that one right.
Wow.
So we'll definitely look at that one. Although Glenn, it sounds like you were thinking about it.
Wait, what is she?
Xai'nyy.
She has good knee, and she has rather chiseled.
She has chiseled high cheekbones. Yeah, I did not really. That really.
I had Nyy'xai reversed. Ah.
I got sub wrong.
Yeah.
We'll definitely take a good look at her.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Okay, next up, David Mazouz, the boy. I said Nyy'xai.
I said Nyy'xai.
I said Nyy'xai.
I said Nyy'xai.
And I said Nyy'xai too.
I said Nyy'zai.
I said 19.
I see that though. I see Nyy'zai.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know the answer yet.
No, we
What
don't.
is it?
Host life with 20 years, he is not G.
Nyy'xai.
So,
He has definitely that young boy Nyy'zai riff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I think most young actors tend to
Just almost everyone got. He was initially everyone 11 out of 12 got him. All right, who's next?
next up, we have Erin Richards, who's a fiance of Jim Gordon. I said Nyy'zai for her.
I said Nyy'xai.
I said Xai'nyy.
I said Xai'nyy.
I said Nyy'zai.
Uh-oh. We're all over the place.
I said Xai'nyy.
Xai'nyy, interesting.
I said Nyy'zai.
Okay, 7 out of 12 people got this one right. Nyy'zai.
Nyy'zai?
Nyy'zai. Yeah.
He has that classic Nyy'zai riff.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Cory Michael Smith, who plays the Penguin.
He was so hard. He was so hard.
Was Riddler, right?
Yeah, he's the Riddler.
The Riddler. The Riddler, not the Penguin.
I said Xai'nyy for him.
I said Nyy'xai.
I said Nyy'xai. I'm not confident in that, but
I said Nyy'xai.
anyway.
I said Nyy'zai, but I was thinking Xai'nyy or Xai'nyy or Nyy'zai.
I could see any of those, seriously.
I was totally like 33% on all of them. Or like
I said Xai'nyy.
And I said Xai'nyy.
Oh, drum roll.
Okay, you were all close. only 5 out of 12 got her right. He is. The Riddler is Xai'nyy.
Whoa.
Yep, so Riddler and Penguin are both Xai'nyy.
So you're counting with like other submissions that other people did, right? Like
Right. There's 12 total. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, Agris and Linda did very well.
Yeah. Good. Next up is Camren Bicondova, who plays the young Catwoman, and I said Nyy'xai.
I said Nyy'xai.
I said Nyy'zai.
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 Okay, only 4 out of 12 got her right. She is Nyy'xai.
She's what?
Nyy'xai. Yep.
Extra credits was John Doman, who plays
He was easy.
Falcone. Yeah, he seemed classic. I said Nike.
Nyy'zai.
I didn't even guess on him. Time.
I said Nyy'zai.
Mitchell ain't got no time for that. Nyy'zai.
I said Nyy'zai. I remember him from The Wire.
I said Nike.
That's true.
Mitchell, you probably could take it because he was almost a freebie. 12 out of 12 people, actually 11 out of 11 people got him right.
I was gonna say, you can't count me.
Nice. She's like, I don't know reads. I looked at him, I was like, oh, you wanted 5? And she's like, oh, was there another one? I said, yeah. That's your credit. Oh, I don't have time today. She looked at it, it was like 30 seconds. She's like, yeah, I got him.
Okay, well.
Yeah, he was so classically Nyy'zai. It was not.
I know, it was ridiculous. So.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see this guy.
Mitchell's now looking.
He reminded me a lot of Gene Hackman.
Yeah, he had similarity with
So classically Nyy'zai. So classically not casting mob boss Nyy'zai. It was just.
I know.
Okay, so I think definitely we should start out with Sarah Paxton, and I'll take lead on that since no one got her. And then I'll still take lead.
Close.
You're close. Hey, Glenn, do you want to take lead on that then?
Sure, we can talk a little bit about her.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and you guys, you might see us moving around. I need to plug into a power source, so.
You guys will have to open up the video or something, I think. Is that possible?
I can do it. I can pull one up. Sarah Paxton. Hang on just a second, and I'll pull one up. This is doing pretty well.
Yeah, right off the bat, I'm looking at the pictures right now, and I was going back and forth between Nyy'zai and Xai'nyy, seeing like, what am I seeing? At first I was thinking Xai'nyy, but then I was like, but it's Gotham. Gotham, I tend to think of it more as like Nyy'zai. That's kind of like the trend. Most of the female roles tend to be Nyy'zai, I think, and then most of the male roles tend to be either Nyy'zai or Xai'nyy, which is a bit interesting. But with her, I looked at her.
Although the Jim Gordon is Nyy'xai and so is Batman. That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. That's interesting. It's like Smallville in a way because TV it's different with TV, I think, right? Movies they kind of like, I don't know. I think they kind of go with a certain kind of formula.
Well, it's not uncommon sometimes if they want to sort of humanize someone in a rough kind of storyline. They'll have a Nyy'xai in the lead surrounded by Nyy'zai. You saw that some with like gangster movies where you have Johnny Depp playing the lead as Dillinger, and then lots and lots of Nyy'zai cops and criminals around him to make it all gritty. Same thing with was it the one that has the Boardwalk Empire? Yeah, Boardwalk Empire. The lead actor there is Nyy'xai, Steve Buscemi, and then a lot of the rest of the cast is Nyy'zai.
Vikings is like that too.
What is that?
Vikings.
Yes, yeah, you're right, exactly. I believe Nyy'xai and also Nyy'xai female, and then lots of Nyy'zai and Nyy'zai around them.
And you know, I think another one too is actually Godfather, because they would have Marlon Brando, but then he only held the command for a short while. Yeah, but then it was Michael Corleone that came in after Al Pacino. But always he was surrounded by.
No, actually, Don Corleone is played by De Niro when he's younger and played by Marlon Brando when he's older. So that's a mix-up of changing the character from older to younger. But his son, Al Pacino, is also Nyy'xai. But then he's surrounded by Nyy'zai, because like Fredo and Sonny are both Nyy'zai.
And then also that one other guy, that lawyer dude.
Yeah, the lawyer dude, Robert Duvall, and then Tessio, Clemenza, they're all Nyy'zai. Yeah.
They messed up on the younger version of Marlon, or not Marlon, but.
You're right. Yeah, they did because they made it Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro was the young version. You're right. And they also messed up on the siblings because they're all supposed to be sons of Robert De Niro / Brando. But either way, they should pick one because you have one son who's Nyy'xai and two sons who are Nyy'zai, so something's up there.
Yeah, I know. Mom's been busy.
So you guys watching
what's happening? What's happening with going over the sample?
Watching the video yet?
Oh, I didn't put my YouTube. Notice how much the crinkly goes up in the face. The squinchy.
Yeah, I was noticing that. And I kept looking at the pictures. I was thinking, I'm looking at Xai'nyy because her face looks kind of like.
I had the same thing.
Yeah, it looks so like stony, kind of like silvery, kind of look to it.
Yeah, I was like ripping.
I was thinking that like.
But those are the actual like structural lines, but the way she's moving it, right there, look there. Look how much all up in her eyes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Her still.
Also, look at her hands, how collapsible they are, as compared to a gatherer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought for a second that maybe because she's really tall that might be throwing me off and making me think Xai'nyy, but actually she actually is Xai'nyy. So it's interesting. Like you got all these like competing ideas and thoughts in your head.
Yeah, and it's a matter of figuring out which ones to listen to more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tricky like that. It's very tricky that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally in the forehead.
But one of the most notable things I was thinking about Xai'nyy is first off was
squinchy though. That's squinchy for me. That's squinchy, and then the claspable wrists and bronzy fingers.
Yeah.
That freeze frame right there. You see her left hand.
Just
her left hand that's bronzy right there. And look at the crinkle. Look how much her mouth is moving versus the cheeks, and then the crinkle up in her eyes, in between the eyebrows and around them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely is a Xai'nyy. I wish I went with a Xai'nyy.
Yeah.
It's just everything. I don't even know what to say because it's like it's all coming like hitting me all at once. It's like
I saw the knee.
Xai'nyy, is there anything that's jumping out to you in hindsight now?
I think the squinching in the eyes area, that how far the emotiveness goes up her face is really obvious to me now. And
yeah, she looks very joyful.
Yeah, the collapsible wrist, her Franzi hands really jump out. That I'm looking for in hindsight.
How about here, the freeze frame? Are you guys noticing any more of the energy in the lower lip and the fact that she has more of the downturned corners in her things, and also more of like a moaniness on her paws? The articulation resonating? On the paws, she kind of moans a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think she has a kind of a little bit of a riff of that one Xai'nyy woman from the Iron Man films. She's a support
I'm going to scratch her a little bit. You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of her too.
Yeah, both in the chiseled lines of cheekbones and the jawline, and also just a bit more of a chilly way of bearing herself can be a bit confusing. Because she holds herself, she does emotions a lot here, but she doesn't give off a lot of warmth.
Can't hear Coach. Yeah.
Also, she's got a pretty quick game with her Nyy'zai, but you can still see, I think, the gauziness in the eyes. Like right here, when she's looking out, that's, first of all, that's hooded eyes. Those are hooded eyes as compared to unhooded if it was a gatherer. But then the particular kind of hooded is gauzy.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys see this either, but like a lot of Xai'nyy, she has like this kind of like baby face look. This baby face kind of like quality to her face, which kind of like it makes me like associate that with the Xai'nyy.
Definitely, and they have that like even when they get really up in age, it's just like a sort of like a I don't know, an innocent quality that makes them sort of kind of hits you in a certain way. You know what I mean? Do you guys feel good in a sample, or do you want to see her in another interview?
I think I think it's pretty clear now in hindsight.
I feel
It's like pretty clear for me too.
Sure. I just want to ask you one thing, Coach.
Sure.
I'm looking at one picture. I don't know what it is, but sometimes the eyes can sort of come across as very chilly in a way. Like they're kind of like, I don't know how to explain it exactly. Like kind of like Nyy'zai is kind of like detached.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm mentioning, that she has a bit more of a colder vibe, similar to Gwyneth Paltrow. In fact, in this freeze frame right here, you see the way she's holding her chin, neck area? It has a bit of a withholding vibe. Not necessarily a bad thing, but Xai, when it's withholding, can seem very chilly. It might make you think it's a logic-based mojo. It's actually Xai that's withholding itself.
Okay.
Gwyneth Paltrow was accused of that a lot in her performances and in various interviews and so forth, and people often kind of called her Ice Princess because of that. It's not that she's actually logic-based, she's values-based, but she kind of keeps it to herself a bit.
I see.
Because right here, for example, in this freeze frame, I see the emotion.
What time is it?
It's at 4:32, and you see the emoting on the right. Her mouth is slightly open, but a lot of cheek movement, and the eyes look kind of like a bit gauzed over with the warmth. But she doesn't look emotionally necessarily very giving.
Yes.
She looks withholding emotionally. So sometimes withholding emotional can seem logic-based, but it's not. It's exactly what it is. It's withholding emotion.
In a way, it's kind of like cagey, isn't it?
It is. Although I think generally the quality people mention more is withholding, because that's what tends to make people think they're chilly and also sometimes off-putting.
It's holding apart. It's a holding apart of themselves.
Yeah, I think it's because they don't want to invest in anything before they actually, like, in a way that they don't, like they don't want to invest in anything that they're not sure about. So they're like, oh, okay, I'll just like hold off on that, kind of, right?
Yeah, and it's more pronounced in some riffs than others.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And you're mentioning with Gwyneth Paltrow, that can kind of like seem a little bit not so appealing.
Sometimes people find it a bit imperious, like the princess thing. They'll get accused of being a bit princessy or
I see.
just cold, withholding.